G'day you beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. Holy shit, it has been kicking off over the last few days. If you do not know what this video is in reference to, there is a character within Genesis called Mikazuki. She's the only character that is only purchasable by real world money. Everyone else can be bought with real world money or one of two in-game currencies. So there was a Twitter post not long ago where they had stated that it was an error and it was going to be fixed, and were told don't buy her until we fix it. They then came out after that and said that that post was made by one of their moderators that or their staff that didn't actually have the correct information, and that she is going to continue to be real world money only. That's the only way you're going to be able to purchase her. Okay, so there's a kind of a bit of an issue there, right there. You know, it looks very bad. It looks like they're lying. So, you know, a couple of people have made videos about this and talked about this. One in particular was Britick HD. He made a very good video. Now, just before I say this, I'm a fan of Britick. I 100% agree with the message of his video, okay? But I will concede to some of the people that are arguing that maybe it was a little bit long-winded. Maybe some of the points of the video where he was, you know, bashing points home didn't need to be bashed home quite so much. Maybe I would concede that to you. But having said that, who fucking cares? Okay, I'm very old, in my opinion anyway. I'm 36. I started gaming before, you know, the birth of actual consoles, before the NES, okay? I started playing video games on Atari and the Commodore 64. One of the first video games I remember playing is Pitfall. That's how fucking old I am, okay? I have watched the gaming industry transform into what it is today. I have witnessed every little push, inch by inch, that all of these companies have been doing over the years to get us to the point where we're at today, where you can buy a full-priced game and be expected to have no problem with microtransactions within that game. You have things like, I'm pretty sure it was one of the last Call of Duties that came out, had no shitty microtransactions in it for the first week or so that they could get good reviews off everyone, and then put the microtransactions into the game, where they charge something like $1 for a standard red dot site. Like, come on. I mean, I've witnessed all this. I've done my best over the years to take a stand when I thought things were too much. I took a stand for the last time I did it was actually Destiny 1. I took a stand when they brought out an update that pretty much just slightly updated Prison of Elders, added a couple of cosmetics. In comparison to other DLCs, it was absolutely dog shit. There was no content there for the price point compared to everything else, so I took a stand, I stopped playing the game, and I refused to buy it. It's something that I try to do as often as possible. If you're one of those people that do the same thing, I praise you for being one of the few people that have a problem with it and actually do something about it. The majority of people just let this shit go and defend developers just because they play their game. Not because the developers are good people. Not because it's their friends. Not for any legitimate reason whatsoever. They just have this weird sense of loyalty to a company that honestly doesn't give a fuck about you. They don't care as long as you make them money. They don't give a shit about you. They care about your wallet. Okay? So it's kind of disappointing to see that a lot of the shade that's been getting thrown around lately has actually been getting thrown at the people that are against what's happening. The way I see it, even if we split it 50-50 down the middle, you have the 50% that are made up of two groups of people, which would be the people that have a problem and are being as polite as they can and as constructive as they can, good on you. I'm glad that you're at least speaking out about the problem, and props for being polite, I suppose. I'm Australian, so I don't give a shit. Then there are the other people within that 50% that have the same problems, but are potentially being a bit rude. Like, I don't care. When it comes to microtransactions, if you have a problem with these microtransactions, as long as you are putting forth a valid argument about why they are bad, as long as you're providing logic and facts to back up your argument, I don't care if you call that developer a piece of shit. I don't class that as toxic. I have a very big problem with toxicity among gamers in general, but I draw that line when it comes to threats of violence and telling people to go kill themselves. Okay, I don't want us to be doing that to each other. I would rather, like, we all get angry. I get angry. If you've watched any of my Paragon videos, you know that I get angry. Sometimes I can't help myself and I let it go in chat, but the majority of the times I try to just take a deep breath, let it go for a minute and get over it. But, I've never, told anyone to go kill themselves or threaten them with violence. That's a line that I don't feel should be crossed. And in the same way, as far as developers go, as long as you're not, if you're out there and you're actually threatening violence, telling people to go kill themselves, you're a fucking dick, and you should probably shut your fucking mouth, okay? But apart from that, if you are having a problem with what's going on and you are being constructive, you are providing logic and facts within your argument, which Burdick did, but at the same time being rude, so what? Who cares? We should maintain an us and them mentality. They are not one of us, okay? We are the gamers. They are the companies trying to make money from us. Yes, some of them provide us with some of the best memories that we've got in our lives. Game development studios have created some of my favorite things ever. Like, fond memories of playing Mario when I was a kid, playing all of the Zeldas, Naughty Dog, and giving us Nathan Drake in the Uncharted series, and The Last of Us, some of my favorite moments. Santa Monica Studios, I'm pretty sure it is, that made God of War. CD Projekt Red. There's some brilliant developers out there that do some great stuff, and are also pretty decent with the community. CD Projekt Red is a perfect example. They don't take shit from people. They make the games they want to make when they want to make them, and there's no bullshit when it comes to microtransactions. Their paid content is very, very fair, and they're a shining example of how companies should be doing it. Okay, obviously when it comes to a free game, there's going to be microtransactions. They have to make money. I'm completely fine with that. Okay? But, and Briddick actually touched on this, he pretty much summed it all up properly. The way that Mikazuki being behind a paywall is going to be a problem, which a lot of people are just writing off, which is the other 50% of the community that I should actually talk about. The other 50% of the community is made up of people that either don't fucking care and aren't having a bar of it, they're just playing the game, which I suppose fair enough. There's another group of people that are brand new to MOBAs that have no idea what they're talking about, who litter the Discord. I guarantee you will have a good time going and visiting the Discord and listening to the absolute bullshit that goes through that Discord. Most of those people have no idea what they're talking about, yet they're extremely vocal about what needs to change in Genesis and providing suggestions that are just stupid. Then you have the people the last group of this 50%, that have no problem with what's going on, but are very vocal against the first 50% that have a problem with these microtransactions. You, if you're in that group, are the worst of any of these groups that I've spoken about. You are the absolute worst. You are defending a developer that gives no fuck about you. For what reason? That would be the phone, kids. For no reason. What reason do you have to defend these people? Okay? I'm sorry someone said a naughty word about the developer of the game that you are currently playing. Who fucking cares? Get over it. Yes, they could probably be more constructive, but when it comes down to, like I said before, microtransactions in games being extremely predatory, then I take no issue with people calling them pieces of shit. If I had an EA developer right here in front of me, I would say some nasty shit, but I would also come back at anything that he said with a logical argument while calling him a piece of shit. Okay, so back to what I was about to say, was that Britick touched on this, and it comes down to Mikazuki could become a problem being held behind that paywall when it comes to balance, right? He did sort of touch on this, but I don't think he quite got it. He was right, but he didn't quite explain it well, I don't think. It comes down to win rate and pick rate, okay? So let's say there's a hero that has a 50% pick rate and a 50% win rate. Perfectly balanced. Not going to get touched. Then you have a hero that has a 90% pick rate and a 90% win rate. That's an issue. They need to be balanced and they're going to get nerfed, okay? But then if you have a hero that has a 10% pick rate and a 90% win rate, that character is not going to get nerfed off of win rate, okay? Yes, they win 90% of their games, but they're only picked 10% of their time. Probably because they're a very finicky character that in the hands of most people isn't that good, but in the hands of someone who truly understands them, they get shit done, right? So, imagine, say, Iggy, for example, had a 90% win rate, but a 10% pick rate, right? It wouldn't have been because Iggy was the best character in the game. It would have just been because those people that play Iggy are very, very good at Iggy. I hope you know who Iggy is, by the way. So where would Mikazuki fall in that scenario? She probably wouldn't fall in the first two categories, because she wouldn't have a 50% win rate and pick rate, I would dare say. She wouldn't fall into the second category, because she wouldn't have a very high pick rate. She'd be in the last one. She would be at a low pick rate. She would have at least half the pick rate of any other hero, with a high win rate. She's going to be the last one to get patched. That's not going to happen. That breaks the game. That means, therefore, that if you can only buy her with real money, that is pay to win. You numpty. Think about it. If it was a first-person shooter, and she was a gun, right, that only 10% of the community had, that won 90% of gunfights, and you could only get that gun by buying it with real-world money, that is pay to win. Stop making an argument to the contrary because you sound like a fucking idiot, okay? You don't know what you're talking about, you're not helping anyone, okay? And you're not getting anything out of it. So stop defending developers. Now, granted, Rampage Games and what is happening right now is nothing compared to the predatory practices of companies like EA, okay? I get that. But it doesn't matter when it comes to anything to do with microtransactions and pay to win or anything like that. Please stop defending developers, okay? Fair enough if you don't agree with it. Just back down. Just leave it alone, okay? You could make the same argument about the people on the other side of the argument, but we are technically defending you, okay? We are on your side. We are on the community side. You're on the developer side. Stop it. Stop blindly defending developers for absolutely no fucking reason, okay? Because you just look stupid, alright? If anyone watching this video has managed to get offended by anything that I've said throughout said video, it's probably because you're one of those people. Now, I apologize, but I would like to reiterate, stop defending these developers for bullshit that they put in their game because you look like a fucking idiot. Stop it. Get on the side of the rest of the gaming community, not the development community. It's us and them, okay? I wish it didn't have to be. It never used to be, okay? I remember the golden age before the internet came out and playing games that were released and just worked, you know? There was no waiting for a day one patch or a week one patch. Shit just worked. You got full games for the price you expected and you were rarely ever disappointed, okay? Because you knew what you were buying and you got what you were paying for, okay? I remember these days. It was wonderful. Gaming these days, it's very hard to, you know, see a product that is coming out in the next few months or a year and, you know, legitimately get excited about it and knowing that it's going to be good. You know, it's a rare occasion, like CD Projekt Red, for example, with Cyberpunk 2077. I am adamant that that is going to be a very good title when it comes out because it's CD Projekt Red. And until they do no wrong, they can't do wrong, okay? But this is not one of those cases. They've already done wrong. They've already lied to us, okay? They've backpedaled on a statement they put out and then lied to us about it. And this, in my opinion, is pay to win. I don't care what your opinion is. There is no way that you come back at me with a legitimate argument against what I have stated as to why Mikazuki technically is pay to win. You can't win that argument. It is impossible. So the best thing that you're going to do is come back at me with ad hominem attacks, even though, I mean, you could technically argue that I did the same thing, but I also presented you with an actual argument, so it's technically not an ad hominem. But yeah, I could go on for ages because this shit makes my blood boil. But we'll leave it there. So I'd love to hear your opinions. I'm sure there's some people that would have some very strong opinions about this. I actually hope you all have strong opinions about this because you fucking well should. Okay? We all should. We all should have very strong opinions about it. There should be no milquetoast fence sitters. Alright? There should be no people defending developers. Okay? We should all be together on this. Developer did bad, so let's get together and show them that it's not okay. Alright? I guarantee you, if we were all together yelling the same thing, it would fucking change. Okay? But anyway, I've rambled on enough. Do yourself a favor. Go check out the Discord, check out their Twitter, all their social media, and just keep an eye on what's going on. Get involved. No death threats, no threats of violence, no telling people to go kill themselves. Apart from that, thank you so much for watching. I love your face, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.